Prepare to experience the strongest radio allowable by law. Secrets will be revealed. Myths dispelled. From the studio gym where excuses never apply, it's Superhuman Radio with your host, Carl Lenore.
So that's 2 days in a row that I had my green screen over my shoulder. I get up and use the potty before every show because inevitably I will have to pee during the show. And I don't want to have to resort to using a plastic cup underneath my desk. Too much information? Welcome back to Superhuman Radio. I got really exciting stuff to talk about today. I've been quietly excited about it. I have been talking about it on other shows. We're going to talk about the ARX machine today. I got to tell you, I actually thought the ARX machine was a gimmick. I'm like, come on, man. Deadlift, squat, do the heavy work, and you'll build muscle and strength. Well, it's been about 3.5 weeks now that I've been training with the ARX machine. Keep in mind, I got it in December. That shows you how excited I was about it, right? Like, okay, I'll start using it. Man, I wish I would have started using it in December. The amount of muscle that I put on in the past 3.5 weeks is undeniable. And there's people around me even saying things to me. Couple compliments like, are you using anabolics again? But this machine is probably, to steal a term from my friend Ron Penna, the greatest innovation in strength and bodybuilding, really, in the past 200 years. And that's not a lie. And I know a lot of purists back in the day hated Arthur Jones when he came out with his cam-devised exercise equipment. And the purists said, oh, you know, barbells, dumbbells. And all of a sudden we found out, holy crap, man. These machines target your ability to isolate muscle, build muscle specifically, build strength, all the things that you want from exercise equipment. And there's a lot of people right now talking about the ARX machine. That is saying, oh, come on, you know, you don't need that. Well, you do. You can't do with weights and gravity or even pulleys and exercise equipment what you can do with the ARX machine. And it pays off with rapid onset of muscle growth and strength that translates into everything. And we're going to talk more about it because there's a business opportunity here. For those of you who are looking for new careers, are in the fitness industry already, own a gym or a small boutique gym, you really need to consider getting a piece of equipment like one of the ARX machines, because your clients will be happier with their results. They'll pay more because they'll see better growth and it's safer. You can't train someone with anything safer than an ARX machine. So we're going to talk all about this and how you can get on the bandwagon. Before we do any of that, I have to thank our title sponsor, and that is Legendary Foods. Legendary Foods, makers of the tasty pastry, less than 1 gram of sugar, 4 to 5 net carbs if you're a low carb person, 20 grams of high quality protein. But more importantly, they taste so delicious, you will fight your kids for them. You won't ever fight your kids for a protein bar, but you will fight your kids for the last tasty pastry in the house. And kids don't care about how good something is for them. They only care about how good it tastes. And that's why the legendary tasty pastry is taking the world by storm, because it's better than a protein bar. Go to shrnetwork.biz/legendary. Use the code SHR10 to save 10% off your order today. And now let's get my guest on. And that is a guy that I've known for quite a while now, actually, Jason DeBruler. How you doing, Jason?
I'm doing great, Carl. Thanks for having me.
Welcome to the show. So I first encountered the ARX machine at my friend Ron Penna's house. And I know a lot of people who own ARX machines, and they're typically thought as, people can afford a very expensive machine. But we're not here to talk about that today, are we? We're really talking about a business opportunity, aren't we?
Yes. I mean, for us, it's if you have the means to bring the best technology to your home across any industry, by all means do that. And as you mentioned, Ron's done that, and a lot of our customers have done that. If you have the space and the checkbook, then we will bring you the world's most advanced resistance training. For everybody else, we need access to the equipment outside of the home, and those are typically in commercial fitness centers, boutique fitness centers, and kind of next generation fitness concepts is typically what we refer to them as.
Right. But I don't want people to get confused with Orange Theory. The ARX machine is like one of Elon Musk's rocket ships, and Orange Theory is like a skateboard. I mean, really, that's the difference in this. The technology and the effectiveness is beyond comparison. And most people know me to be a no bullshit kind of guy, and I would not get up here and tell you that the ARX machine has built more muscle in 3.5 weeks on my body than anything I've done in decades. And I'm older. Theoretically, it should be harder. But when we first got on linked up here before the show started, I was gushing like a little high school girl about how I love my ARX machine and how fast I see muscle changes and strength changes. That it's like, oh my God, where has this machine been all these years? Why don't you give a little brief intro into ARX, where it came from, how it came to be?
Sure. Well, we've got a great founder who, more than a decade ago now, founded the company because he was really trying to scratch his own itch, if you will. He owned Mark Alexander and owned 5 different locations of a fitness concept, was just always looking to deliver better value to his members, like most people who own fitness concepts. And so over a long period of expensive, painful prototyping, one of the lines we like to use a lot from Henry Ford is, if you'd asked the people what they wanted, they'd have said faster horses. And so usually it's, taking a step back and saying, well, what is really, at the core of the problem? The core of the problem is it's not the human, it's that the technology is so poor because it's all weights based. You mentioned, the cam was the first step towards some slight amount of variable resistance. And it was a nice step forward at the time. It was much better than no variance to your resistance. But really what Mark discovered was, and through his clients and seeing the incredible gains that they were getting, was that you don't want faster horses. We need something completely different. So Building ARX was like building the car. And so when you get rid of gravity, when you get rid of the weights, and it's no longer about picking a predetermined 100 pounds, 200 pounds, whatever it is, the unfortunate part about weights is no matter how you try to adjust it, you are selecting a weight that you can do at the weakest part of your range of motion until the very last rep, which means the entire set you are underloaded. And when you're underloaded, you simply don't get the hormonal response from the body. You are not going to grow in the same way that you can when you say, wait a minute, get rid of weights. What if we use a computer and tie it to a motor, and it gives you exactly as much resistance as you can handle at every point in the range of motion on every single rep? So as you fatigue, you are still getting the maximal dose. Jim, our director of training and education, likes to talk about, it's essentially doing a 1 rep max every rep, every time. And that's a total shift for people. So, Mark started bringing that into his own facilities. We went through many iterations of the product to get it, where it is today. And now you've got tens of thousands of users all over the world who have realized the same thing you have, which is you can get a lot better results in a lot less time and do it safely without the injury risks compared to traditional equipment.
So let's talk about one of the things I found fascinating in the video that you sent me was the explanation. First of all, science is showing us that the eccentric portion of the range of motion actually provokes greater protein synthesis and greater strength development. Yet we can't take advantage of that in a traditional gym with weights or even with machines. Talk about the underloading for the concentric and missing out on the overloading in the eccentric.
Sure. And for those maybe just listening on audio, I'll try to describe the visual there. But if you just think about sitting on a chest press machine, I don't care if it's a traditional bench and you got metal plates, or if you're sitting on a machine, doesn't matter. Either way, you're sitting there. The hardest part is getting that weight lifted off your chest. Well, we're much, much stronger on the eccentric phase of the range of motion. So concentric, you're creating the force. Eccentric, you're resisting the force. So sometimes that's known as positive and negatives. I'm sure most in your audience are certainly familiar with all that. So the joke I always like to make is the only way you would need two things to do what ARX does in the gym. You'd need two spotters who you trust with your life. You would need to load up so much weight that you could seriously hurt yourself, and then trust those buddies of yours not to be, distracted and drop that thing on you, and then be able to read your mind at every second of the range of motion to know just how much help to give you. Because I don't know what your traditional bench press max would be, but what I do know is take whatever that number is and double it on average for most people, and that's how much they can handle when they're fully extended away from their body, and that first half inch coming back towards them. You are so much stronger, somewhere between 50 and 300% stronger, depending on the person. So the problem with that is if I choose a weight that is 100 pounds, and that's great because I can get it off my chest, but out here, I'm basically just coasting. And what we know about resistance training is there's all kinds of theories out there. There's all kinds of protocols, and we try to be agnostic about, the program, so to speak. And what we say is it's stimulus and adaptation. And all we're going for is maximal stimulus that tells the brain, I am not strong enough for this. Build more muscle, build more bone. And most people look at you crazy if you tell them you can even build new bone, especially as we're aging. But we have a mission we want to end type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, whatever you want to call it. And the way you do that is by building a bigger engine, is what we always refer to it. More muscle is going to raise your resting metabolic rate. It makes everything else in life easier because now you cheat a little on the weekends, have some tortilla chips, whatever it is, you got some carbs in there. I used to be one of those people that had just zero margin for error. If I looked at chips and guac, I'm gaining weight. and it wasn't gonna be the good weight. It wasn't muscle. It was gonna be fat. So the beauty of ARX is to be able to do it safely and be able to serve as many clients as possible, because you can go from one person to the next, to the next, to the next. There are no weights to change. There is nothing to adjust. The machine does that automatically.
So Professor Ken Nosaka came on my show last week, and he talked about a study he published that shows that 1 3-second negative was effective at building muscle, 1 a week. They used a bicep. They had this machine. They strapped this kid into a chair. His elbow was isolated, and he was told to lift the weight. And then when he got it to the top, he was told to resist it. And it was hydraulic, obviously, and it pulled him down, and he struggled against it. And that 3 seconds showed a protein synthetic response that added protein tissue to his muscle by the next week, at which he did it again and again. One of the things that Nosaka talked about, which was really fascinating to me, was that heavy eccentric work increases insulin sensitivity in muscle better than doing a concentric, eccentric, traditional weightlifting session. Now think about that. Everybody's searching for insulin sensitivity. This will give it to you in less time.
Much less time.
I mean, it's fascinating, right?
It really is. And I think, what's hard we're always fearful of coming across as, that's too good to be true. But we get these stories back from people like yourself who, when they start using it, and I could go on and on and on about the end users, our customers are typically commercial businesses. It's commercial grade equipment. This isn't something, that's a couple $100 or a couple thousand for the home, is commercial quality equipment. So most of our customers, when I refer to a customer, I'm speaking about somebody who buys ARX and then offers ARX to their members. And so when I refer to members or end users, I'm just talking about people who are using it, just like you, and just like thousands and thousands of people all over the world right now. And we get this response all the time. How have I not heard of this? How is this possible? And it's really exciting for us, because I just heard one the other day from one of our customers that a 73-year-old guy over 12 weeks and didn't change anything else in his program. It was dropped 6.5 pounds of fat, added 5.5 pounds of muscle, and 3.5x his natural testosterone production. That's in 12 weeks from a guy who's of an age where most of the fitness community considers him to be beyond making significant advances. And to do that safely in that short a time is just incredible. And I've had ARX. Go ahead.
Was he training once a week? Was he training every day? How was he using the machine? Because I want to talk about my protocol that I stumbled upon too.
Sure. So I would say he's more in the, it's kind of 80-20. We find that 80% of the people who use our equipment, they're looking for that minimal effective dose. They're looking for how little can I do and get the result I'm looking for? What's the 20% of effort that gives me 80% of the result, right? That's most of them. And he's one of those. He's a doctor, very busy guy. So not everybody has a couple hours a day that they want to dedicate towards, their fitness. And for us, we know that that's totally unnecessary. So he's doing twice a week. It's part of their protocol at the Smart Fit Method is the business where this gentleman's working out. But I'll use myself as an example, because again, we try not to get too heavy-handed in how people use it and how often. All we tell everybody is pay attention to the numbers, because if you try to overdo it, the numbers are going to drop. You're not going to be as strong. If you're not recovering, you're not going to grow. And that is the hardest thing to get through to a lot of people who like yourself, who want to train hard, but you got to train hard in an effective manner and in recovering well. And I know for me personally, I haven't touched a weight. I haven't touched a kettlebell. I haven't done anything for my fitness outside of ARX. I mean, no cardio, nothing, just ARX twice a week. It's less than 10 minutes. It's 4 sets, 90 seconds each time. I personally follow kind of a body by science style workout, 90 seconds time under tension, no more than a minute between sets. And I'm going to do 4 of those. So that's 6 minutes of actual time under load, time under tension, with a couple, 3 more minutes in between. So less than 10 minutes once or twice a week. And that's all I need to maintain the muscle mass that I have, 5'11", 180 pounds, and probably 13% body fat right now. But to be able to do that on less than 10 minutes once or twice a week is a complete game-changing technology there, and it's something we get so passionate about. And then when somebody like you comes back who's tried everything and has been out there doing it for forever, there's nothing more gratifying for us than to hear those stories.
So I get it. People love to be told build muscle with little effort, because that's the American way. And actually, I had Dr. Daniel Lieberman on my show. He's a Harvard professor of anthropology, and he wrote a great book called The Story of the Human Body. And I said to him, we were talking about how people are evolutionarily programmed to overconsume energy and underutilize energy. So he said one time, if you put 2 palm trees and coconut trees in the jungle, and one of them had an escalator, the Aborigines would start using the escalator. They wouldn't climb the tree anymore because this is expending less energy. And so we're actually programmed to seek out things that benefit us from a physical standpoint with very little energy output. And that's why you see these ads on Instagram, the 5-second abs, or build muscle without exercising, and people gravitate to that because nobody really wants to work hard. That's the God's honest truth, right? We're actually programmed not to work hard in case of famine, caloric restrictions and so on. But I am a working class human, like a farm dog. So I like to work. I love it working. So when I see, wow, these people are building muscle with 1 full body workout a week better than people who are doing a 3-day split, I say, what if I do a 3-day split with it, right? Like, okay, I'm not interested in working less. I'm interested in working more. So what I have done with my ARX machine is I'm doing a 5x5, 5 sets of 5 reps with 25 seconds of rest in between reps, because I want to be able to develop maximum power with each single. So this is more like powerlifting logic, you know? And so I will do 5 sets of chest, followed by 3 sets of shoulders. I found a way to use my machine and do shoulders by I lay down on it and I do an upright row, and struggling against that weight, wants to move, and I'm trying to hold it. I mean, I just need to do 2 sets of those and that's it. And I have added so much muscle so quickly that I am so excited that I'm telling all my friends, you've got to come to the house and try this machine. You can't explain it to people. When I train, like I trained chest and shoulders this morning, I still have a pump now. I trained 7 o'clock in the morning. It's 1:20 now. I will continue to have this pump for most of the day. That's a phenomenon I've never experienced in all decades of training with weights of any type. This machine is doing so many unique things that we have never experienced in resistance training environment that it's hard to even explain it to people without getting them on the machine and letting them try it.
We always talk about butts and seats, and that's why we look forward to trade shows so often and just being places where people can experience it the first time. And it's so funny that you say that, because we've known for such a long time that it's that stimulus and adaptation, right? It's just 2 sides of the coin. You can't have one without the other. If it's all stimulus, you are just kicking a dead horse. It's already down. You got to let it stand up. And so most people we see that love to work out like you do, they overtrain, but they really pay very little attention to sleep, recovery, hormones, all the things that matter outside the gym. They've got the stimulus there, but they're not adapting because they're not doing the recovery side of it. So we try to talk about both, but you're absolutely right. When it comes to the stimulus side of things, we've known for decades now that the eccentric phase in particular is so crucial, but there has just never been a way to do it safely. And that they're definitely not safely by yourself. And so now you're in this position where to get the best that you can get in a traditional gym, you got to work out in a group. You got to make sure your buddies are always there, with you, and that you trust them and that they're going to, help you with the weight. It's so difficult. And for most people, that's not what they're looking for. And for a lot of people, you look at some of the injury rates at a lot of these group fitness places that have brought the barbell back. But when you've got 40% plus of your new members have a significant injury in the first 90 days of training, and now they're at home on the couch for the next 90 days or possibly longer, they're not gaining muscle sitting on the couch. They're probably gaining some fat in there. And now they're discouraged going, I've been told this is so good for me, but I don't want to get hurt again. And if you've ever had a back injury or ever, tweaked something even, that can be really scary to get a lot of people back into. And I know you've had some injuries yourself. And so it's hard to, work through those.
Most people, once they get an injury, that's the extent of their training. Like, I'm not doing that anymore. It hurts. I got hurt. I can't afford to get hurt.
And you can't really blame them, right? Because if it hurt and there's expense associated with that, oftentimes, medical bills, hospital bills, we are trying to bring the premium quality resistance training, the very best that's ever existed, and do it in a safe way. And there simply is no way to do that if you're still using gravitational weights-based systems. You just can't, because you can't create a force big enough. What I love about it, I like to talk about, my parents a lot. They're in their late 60s now. They retired a few years ago. And when I think about the fitness landscape that's out there, all the big, concepts from the big box gyms that are $20 to $40 a month, and you're going to wander around and kind of do your own thing and hopefully, figure some things out. You got the very upper end of the market where you got personal training, $500, $700, $1,000 a month for somebody to kind of be your one-on-one guru. There's the group fitness stuff that most certainly they're at this age, they have no interest. Dad wants to play golf and just be in good enough shape to pick the grandkids up and run around with them. So for him, learning how to do the proper mechanics of a deadlift or a weighted squat right now, that's of no interest whatsoever. What is of interest, though, is maintaining less body fat, maintaining more muscle, being stronger. And, I read a stat the other day. I'll have to send you the article on it, but I read something like 50% of all hospital stays over the age of 60 are fall related. And so, what we talk about all the time is becoming so strong that you can absorb those falls. I want my parents to be into their late 70s and 80s and hopefully 90s. And if they do stumble, as can happen, I want to know that if they fell down out in a parking lot someplace, that's not a broken hip that's going to lead to a hospital stay.
Yeah, you don't want to be fragile. It was about 8 years ago on Valentine's Day. Elisa and I had been out to dinner and drinking, and we came home, and she went upstairs. This is the fun part of Valentine's Day, and I went downstairs to turn the lights off and make sure the doors were locked. And we have a staircase going down the basement right next to the hall. And I made a left about 1.5 feet too soon, and I went right down the stairs. Oof. Now, keep in mind, I was still squatting at this point in time. I was a bit more robust in my lower body than I am right this second. And I went down those stairs. I pulled the banister right off the wall. I got up at the bottom of the stairs and I checked. Nothing was broken. I ran up the stairs. And Elisa said, "What was that noise?" I said, "Don't worry about it. We'll check it in the morning." Because, this is the fun part of Valentine's Day. I don't want to. So I know what you're talking about. Having muscle on your carcass will preserve you from, it gives you a cushion. It's like airbags. They give us airbags so we don't smash. When you have muscle on your body and you fall, the muscle takes the bruise, not the bone. So that's right. True.
It's a big part of it.
So now I want to start moving into the real discussion here. There's people here listening to this who are probably saying, how does this help me? I can't afford an ARX machine in my home. So they are thinking about this the wrong way. There's an opportunity here for people who have maybe thought about becoming personal trainers or are personal trainers right now, and you're working for a gym and they're sharing such a little amount of money with you for what you're bringing in, or you are a gym owner and you have the rudimentary equipment on the floor that people are using, and you would like to take your existing base of members and offer them something to make even more money with. The ARX machine is it, isn't it?
It most certainly is. And what's been exciting to watch happen over the last, I've been with the company now 7 years. And when I first came in, there wasn't a marketing and sales, program. We had to build that from scratch. The machines were just, coming online in terms of commercial quality. I feel, so fortunate in my life that I found AirX when I did, which was just blind, luck. And then I always love that quote: luck is where preparation meets opportunity. And so here these guys were, Mark and Mike and Jim toiling away and building these machines, living at the manufacturer, just going through prototype after prototype, all the hard stuff. And then I happened to find them. I see them on a podcast, one of the very first ones. And I had been doing Body by Science and traditional equipment, frustrated by the resistance. And I knew it was suboptimal. And the light bulb immediately went off within a week or two. I'm talking to the guys on the phone about, all I wanted was, where can I work out on this locally? And then I realized at the time there's like 12 machines in the whole world. There's no place in St. Pete, Florida that has the equipment. So I fly out to Austin, meet with the team, fell in love with the technology, the guys. And so from an opportunity perspective, what I saw out there was this big blue ocean. If you're familiar with that book, I love that book, looking for opportunities in the market. And I touched on it a little bit earlier, but just to reiterate, for how many decades now have we basically had 3 different markets? And it's that real inexpensive, the Globo gyms that are charging $20 a month. They need 1,000 members. They know less than 200 are going to show up even once in a month. That's how their model works. That's how they make money. That's not of any interest to me. And then at the very upper end, there's not a ton of people out there that can afford 1,000 a month for personal training. So those are kind of the 2 extreme ends. And then something that really helped us was that before we came along, group fitness had kind of returned to the masses, and it was, very popular. It still is in many ways. And so that proved a price point that was $125 to $175. And it showed that everyday people, like us, were spending that on their fitness. And what we were seeing was that the biggest problem in fitness businesses was that if you weren't doing the Globo gym model or the one-on-one model, if you were trying to do something in the middle, the labor model was such a difficult, there's so many things working against you economically. The amount of staff you need, the salaries for the trainers, and trying to pay them some commission, maybe on some personal training. You've got the rent on a big place because you need 15 or 20, single purpose machines. They're taking up all of this room. So you've got high overhead when it comes to rent. So when it's all said and done, between the labor model of just how much staff you need in order to make that kind of business function, and then combine that with all the rent, it's very expensive. And there aren't that many businesses out there. There aren't that many fitness businesses out there that are highly profitable. And so what we saw was an opportunity to say, well, what if you could offer the most advanced, most effective and safest resistance training in the world, combine that with a space that's in many cases 300 or 400 square foot. And even that's way too big for just 2 AirX machines. Most of our customers have somewhere around 1,000 to 1,200 square feet, and they're usually putting AirX at the center of it. That's the key, the key piece to the studio. But then they might add some other technologies. And what we did was we started talking to a lot of different vendors saying, we think that if you paired our resistance training with your cold tub and with your, Carol bike, an adaptive resistance bike, some red light therapy, a scanning device of some kind so people can quantify how they're doing, we felt like there was this big blue ocean out there of people that said, I'm not going to spend $1,000 a month on personal training, but I have more than the 100, 150. I just need somebody to show me how this works and to give me access to the best technology in the world. And so we put together a webinar and just started marketing it to people who, mainly weren't looking for a franchise. They didn't want to be told what to do. We've got kind of a renegade crew, if you will, very independent, entrepreneurial, spirited people in the early days that exist to this day. But most of our customers are charging somewhere between $250 and $500 a month. A lot of that depends on the market. Obviously, Manhattan's a different situation than here in St. Pete. But what we found was there's a big market of people out there that are willing to pay that, because it's not just their fitness. They're not just looking to sweat. That's not the goal. They want more muscle. They want results. They want lower body fat. They want to tackle their insulin resistance. And if you can do all of that under one roof, that's what a lot of our customers are offering. And it's been 6 years now and growing strong.
And that's the important part of this. There are lots of exercise programs out there that are designed, boot camps and all this other stuff, but most of those don't offer real quantitative results. Like, maybe you do the boot camp, you like it, you do it with your girlfriends and you all sweat, but when you look in the mirror week after week, you really don't look that much different. And you start to question, do I like exercise that much that I'm going to do it even though I'm not seeing progress? With the ARX machine, look at me. I'm not a neophyte. This isn't my first time to the rodeo. The fact that I am seeing the results that I'm seeing with this machine that excites me and makes me want to get on it 4 days a week, because that's what I'm doing. And I am optimized. I'm on testosterone. I've been on HRT for years. I do use growth hormone. I do use peptides. So maybe I'm not the average 63-year-old. So maybe I can do this 3 or 4 days a week, and that's why it's working for me. But the bottom line is, I don't even miss the gym anymore. It's like I used to love the gym, see all my friends and talk. It's like I get up in the morning, I go downstairs, I do 10 minutes of cardio, I get on the ARX machine, I bust out a workout. It takes me 23 to 24 minutes, including the 25 seconds rest in between reps, to do between 6 and 8 different sets, because I don't only just do that body part. I have other touch-ups. I'm touching up my biceps. My biceps have never been thick. They're getting thick all of a sudden. Like for me, the results is like, oh my God, what am I going to look like by June? And that is what will make people keep coming back. And that will make people feel that their $250 a month is worth it. And that will make their friends go, what the F are you doing? Like, you look amazing. And so from a business model, you just need to put a machine in a room and start getting people in there, even if you give their first workout for free. I guarantee you, because in their first workout, a week later, they're going to go, man, I noticed something already. I'm not bullshitting you. Like, what I see in 3.5 weeks is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
And you're not a guy off the street that's untrained. And so when we get that kind of result from people who are no stranger to, the weight room, that's huge for us. And I guess, for me, what gets exciting there is thinking about how many more people we can affect now by making it more accessible. The people who are not in the fitness market at all right now, because unless you are just one of those, David Goggins, one of my favorite follows on, Instagram, and the guy's just, a monster, Navy SEAL. His story is crazy. And, if you're wired like that, then you're not a minimal effective dose guy. And, so I never like to, I always want to make sure I'm careful to say that I understand there are people who love group fitness because it's community to them. And I completely understand that there are people that want to go spend the hour at the gym. And if they want to do that, that's fine. If you want to quantify your sweating, quantify your cardio, I suppose, there's concepts for that, right? But I worry about all those people who love that, but then they get hurt. And now they're worried about going back or they're not getting the results, which is usually what happens. And there's nothing more tragic for me when I see this all over the market. I pay attention to the people coming out of some of these businesses. And I think we've all had this experience where you're at a gym and you're looking at the guy on the treadmill and he's been on that treadmill for an hour a day for a year. And he doesn't look any different than he did, before. And it's because, I think you've heard that quote before as well. I'm going to paraphrase one of our customers who just said, most people think we have an over fat problem. And in reality, we have an under muscle problem. So if you can be the solution that unlocks the door for all these people who are right now going, I used to do that. I put an hour in a day, 3-4 days a week. I didn't see anything. I'm basically just a slightly smaller silhouette of the same roughly fat person that I was before. And I've been that guy multiple times before I found ARX. I've done the yo-yo game because I, like a lot of people, thought cardio was the way to go. Just more time, more volume. And in reality, the truth was I didn't have the stimulus. I didn't have enough muscle. And once I fixed that problem, everything else fell into place. So getting back to kind of our customers and what they're seeing out there, most of them have a break-even point of 20 to 30 members. It's not high at all. Like it's a very low number. That's a lot lower. And that's with the real estate. That's with the equipment lease. That's all in. Now, obviously, it's going to vary a little bit based on it. Do you have ARX only, or you offer an ARX plus a variety of things, which a lot of our customers do, and everything in between. But for, let's call it 30, maybe 40 members at most, if you're like our average customer, and you got 300 a month in memberships, you got 100 memberships, which we've got customers who go from 0 to 100 members in 90 days. It's not, when people are getting this type of result, it's that word of mouth. It's exactly what you're doing. You got to come over to my house. You got to try this thing. That's what happens out in the market. So let's just do quick math there. 100 members, 300 a month. That's 30,000 top line. At most, you probably have 7 to 10,000 bottom line. That's if you're running it yourself. If you want something completely turnkey, you're going to have typically just one employee, so again, we've solved the labor model issue because once somebody gets trained up, I know in most of our facilities, most people need 3 to 5 workouts on ARX to get comfortable. So the first one's kind of like, what is this thing? There's a computer screen. Like, what am I doing? And then the second one, they get to compare to the first one on the screen. They see their feedback and they go, oh, and so the light bulbs start going off. And by the third and fourth one, what our customers love is that it's not so skill dependent, meaning oftentimes the turnover in the personal training world, if someone leaves as a personal trainer, oftentimes they're going to take a lot of clients with them to wherever they go next. And if you're that business owner, it's really hard to retain trainers and members. And so in this particular case, we have a couple of our customers who are now franchising their concept. We've got turnkey solutions. You don't have to go it alone anymore. Not everybody wants to start from scratch, building a website and doing all that stuff. But we have turnkey options now. But for those who just want a simple business that's highly profitable, we've got a webinar on our website that walks through all the financials. And it's been really fun to watch how many people have quit their day jobs and now they're working in their own business on something they love doing.
And keep in mind, it's something you love doing, but you're actually doing something that the pharmaceutical industry can't do, and that's actually help people get healthy. Just this morning, I posted a meme that said, healthcare is for people who don't want to do what they have to do to be healthy, run by people who don't know what to do to make you healthy. And it's like, we have people out there who think that the answer is, go to the doctor, get a drug, and I'm all fixed, and you're not. You can actually fix people. You can keep people from being broken. I want to put this up real quick. We're going to take a break. If you want to learn more about ARX, you can go to shrnetwork.biz/ARX. You can go there and watch the video. We'll talk about that when we come back. That shows you how to turn this into your own business. If you are somebody who is in the fitness industry already, or you're somebody who thinks they want to be in the fitness industry, this is the way to go. And we're going to talk more about safety and ease of operation when we come back, because those are the two biggest problems you have with getting good results from your clients. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Superhuman Radio. Remember those rectangular toaster pastries you used to love when you were a kid? Well, Legendary Foods has just made them better. The new cake-style tasty pastry is like nothing you've ever had before. With 20 grams of high-quality protein and less than 1 gram of sugar, you'll feel like you're cheating, but you're not. Go to shrnetwork.biz/legendary and use the code SHR10 to save 10% off your purchase of tasty pastries. Now available in cookies and cream, red velvet cake, birthday cake, blueberry, strawberry, brown sugar cinnamon, and hot fudge sundae. Go to shrnetwork.biz/legendary and use code SHR10 today.
New Mass Pro Synthogen X2 just upped its own legendary game. To distance itself even further from the rest of the pack, Synthogen X2 now has double the key active ingredients. If you've ever wondered what steroid-like recovery feels like, Synthogen X2 delivers. See why others compare it favorably to powerful bodybuilding drugs at synthogen.com. Mass Pro Synthogen. When you train with it, you'll gain with it.
You may be wondering why you're experiencing performance issues in the bedroom, but you're not alone. Over 30 million men experience a form of erectile dysfunction, and to many, it can feel defeating. Maybe you've tried pills, diets, exercise, but finally there's a proven solution. Meet Eddie, a discreet device designed to help men strengthen and maintain their erections. Pills can be costly and result in debilitating side effects, so I checked out Eddie by Giddy at shrnetwork.biz/Eddie and found out that over 95% of men experience positive results wearing Eddie, according to a 2021 clinical trial. This product simply works and is easy to use. Sign up for a subscription at shrnetwork.biz/Eddie and save $20 on your first device with promo code SUPER20. With free device resizes and 60-day guarantee, you'll be glad you tried it. Treat ED with Eddie at shrnetwork.biz/Eddie. That's EDDIE.
Dogs should be powered by fat and protein, not carbs. That's why Visionary Pet makes low-carb, ketogenic dog food for dogs of all breeds and life stages. From kibble to freeze-dried and even low-carb treats, all Visionary Pet recipes are very low-carb, ketogenic, and made with 100% real meat protein. Shop now and use code SHR for 20% off your first order today. Your dog deserves the lifelong benefits of optimal nutrition. Make the switch to Visionary and see why smart dogs eat low carb.
If you've listened to this show for any length of time, you know that I have struggled to give up coffee for years. Coffee has destroyed my gut and it's impaired my health. Well, I haven't had coffee in months thanks to a product called Magic Mind. Magic Mind is the first nootropic blend I actually feel working. One shot and I'm good all day long. My memory is crystal clear and I'm able to function and have great focus without coffee or caffeine for that matter. If you want to try a product that really works, if you're like me and you want to give up coffee forever, or you just need something occasionally that will help you lift the brain fog, Magic Mind is your product. I promise you that this product you will feel when you use it. Go to shrnetwork.biz/Magic Mind, all one word, and use the code SHR for a whopping 20% off your first order. If you'd like a shortcut to better sleep, more energy, and calmer, more stable moods, then you should make sure you're supplementing with magnesium daily. Let me tell you why. About 75% of people are magnesium deficient. This deficiency can lead to higher levels of anxiety, irritability, trouble sleeping, and low energy. It can even contribute to foot and leg cramps while you sleep. Magnesium Breakthrough by Bioptimizers is the single best magnesium supplement in the world. Simply take 2 capsules before you go to bed, and you'll be amazed by the improvements in your mood and energy levels and how much more rested you feel when you wake up. I take Magnesium Breakthrough every night, and I sleep better because I use it. Go to magbreakthrough.com/SHR and use the code SHR10 during checkout to save 10% off and get free shipping. Check it out.
You're listening to the Superhuman Channel. We're ripped and we're ready.
Hey, welcome back. We're talking with Jason DeBruler from ARX. ARX stands for Adaptive Resistance Exercise, and it is a machine that allows you to exploit every single millimeter of muscle building stimulus, if you will. And there's nothing like it in the world today. Nothing. And you can actually leverage this technology if you want to become a personal trainer, if you want to start your own small boutique gym, if you're a gym owner and you want to drop a piece of equipment in that you could tell people it's there for you to use, if every time you want to use it, an extra $15, they use it, 4 times a month. And now all of a sudden, you got $60 a month coming in from a member who's paying $24 a month to belong to your gym. So there's so many ways to exploit this. And the reason that you can exploit it is because it works. And it works so well that you will have people. I predict if you put one of these in your gym, and in a matter of months, it will be booked solid, and you'll need another one because people, you can't have 2 people sitting on the machine at the same time. And if people go, well, I'm going to use it at this time, 15 minutes a piece or whatever, you're going to have a machine that's being used constantly. You're going to need another machine. Have you seen that happen, Jason, at all, where somebody puts one in a gym, then they need a second one because the response is so overwhelming?
We've had lots of cases where not just a lot of our customers who have started with a pair of machines, one of each model, and then within 60 to 90 days are ordering a third and sometimes a fourth. We see that quite frequently because it's, I guess it really struck me when you said earlier that there's so many people out there that they don't want to work hard. And I agree with that. There's certainly plenty of people who, if they can just take a pill and do nothing, okay, and that's a segment of the population. But I think I know a lot more people who it's not so much that they don't want to work hard. They're worried they're going to work hard, oftentimes again, for the 3rd time or the 5th time or the 10th time in their life and not get the result. And there's nothing more demoralizing than putting that time in and being unhappy. So I think, for most people, I think that's really the secret there, is realizing that if they see the results as a business owner, it is one of the stickiest memberships out there. We have customers with just insane retention rates because for oftentimes the very first time, like let's talk about our core demographic. I mean, you're talking primarily 40 to 65. I mean, those are the people who are really going to get the most out of it. I mean, everybody can benefit, but the people who are most excited about it are saying, wow, this is a way I can do it safe. I can get really great results and I can do it really quickly. Popping out, for a 10-minute workout once or twice a week. You can do that on your lunch break. You can do that anywhere. Our average customer is doing 3 to 4 sessions per hour because you only need 15 minutes. And that's with time to you showed up a little late or whatever. You really only need the 10 minutes. Now, obviously, you're not minimal effective dose guy. You're going for optimal results. And that's awesome. I can't wait to see how that works.
Even with that, it's only 23 minutes that I'm spending on there. That's crazy.
Right. Yep, exactly. So I was just thinking that earlier when you said that about people. And I think there's such a beaten down feeling. Like if you've ever tried to lose weight or tried to gain muscle and failed at it, it's really hard on the psyche. And so I think really what ARX does is unlocks the human potential. It allows you to get the most out of it. And what's beautiful is a lot of our customers have a double your strength guarantee in the first 60 or 90 days. Now that puts a lot out there, right? And to be able to say that even for someone like you who's been training forever, that's really putting your actual money where your mouth is there. And
right.
And I've never seen refunds on that. If people hit it hard for 60 to 90 days, and I'm one of those people, and I was very curious in the early stages to find out, are there people like me out there who look at it and say, my wife's kind of the opposite of me in so many ways. And she likes kind of the slow and methodical way, dips her toe in. She doesn't, she's not the dive into the deep end cannonball person. She's going to wade in from the stairs, kind of test things out a little bit. And what I always said was when it comes to dropping fat, gaining muscle, becoming fit, I genuinely believe it's easier to go fast than to go slow. And what I mean by that is most people, an hour of sweating hard and going to the gym sounds like a lot. It sounds like a big commitment, and you're asking them to do that 2, 3, 4, 5 nights a week. Well, I think for most people, if you told them, yeah, it's going to be hard, no way around it, it's going to be hard, but it's going to be hard for 10 minutes once or twice a week. Most people, it's like a sprinter versus running a marathon. If you ask me to train for a marathon, not doing it. That's long and grueling. If you ask me to train to do wind sprints, well, I can do that. I can do anything for 10, 30 seconds, somewhere in there. So I think we're capturing a lot of that market where people go, all right, it is hard, but not so hard. I wouldn't want your audience to think that it's always hard as in like a painful hard. We've got kind of a saying where ARX is like a Ferrari. Just because you can do 250 on the freeway doesn't mean you can't also drive it to the grocery store. So you can start as slow as you want and it will adapt to you. So wherever you are on the spectrum, from haven't worked out in 40 years to elite athlete, it's going to meet you where you are. And that's really the special part of the technology, and what our customers love about it and why their locations are so profitable. It's because now think about how many people you can pull in. Those once a week minimal effective dose people, or the animals like you that just want to get after it and let's see how much muscle we can put on, and everybody in between.
So the thing that makes it so safe is the thing that makes it so automatically adjustable. So one of the things that people have to understand is like when you feel this almost crushing weight, and if this was a barbell, you would be freaked out. Like, I'm going to staple myself to the bench here. All you have to do is stop pushing. Everything goes, nothing's happening. The second you just stop resisting or stop pushing, the exercise stops. So from a safety standpoint, there is no way really, now some idiot's going to find a way, but there's really no way to injure yourself if you're paying attention to what you're doing. And if you've established the endpoints of the range of motion for each of the movements you're doing, which Jim is amazing at getting you set up on it. And I'm sure that the gym owners that have this will do the same. Short of that, you can't injure yourself. You just stop pushing, and the rep is over. That's it. The other thing about that is, so if I do feel like I'm a little overtrained, I just don't push as hard. I still do my set. And maybe, and for me, the first rep is never the strongest. The second and third are always the strongest. And then the fourth and the fifth, you can see that I'm starting to gas a little bit. But if I'm a little tired one day, I'm a firm believer, like Coach Wade Johnson, the only bad workout is a missed workout. Go in and do something. Do something. So there are days where, like this morning, I had it. I was ready to train chest today. But last chest session, I was a little weary. I don't know if I didn't sleep as good that night or what the deal was. So I went down there and I did my same routine, but the only difference is I just didn't push as hard. That's all I did differently. And I still had the massive pump and I still felt like I had a good workout. So you can modulate the force as you choose to. You may have one rep where you just go savage animal, bang. And then the rest of the reps, you don't feel the need to do that. You just don't push as hard. That's it. There's nothing. It's so hard to explain how ARX works because there's never been anything like it before. I can't point an analogous to, well, it's like using the old Nautilus pullover machine. There's nothing like it. It's impossible. And actually, the best thing you can do if you're listening to this show right now is go to ARX. Is it arxfit.com or arx.com?
Yeah, ARXFit.
Okay, go to arxfit.com, and on their homepage, you can find a location close to you where there is a machine, and you can go check it out and go, hey, I'd like to try this one time to see what it is. If you're a personal trainer and you're thinking about this, and we're going to talk more about that now, this is an easy business model. The machine does everything. The consumer can't hurt themselves on it. And the machine does everything for them. All they have to do is use the resistance that they are able to conjure up with each of the movements, and you're out of there. So talk to me about people who may be listening and thinking, I'm going to go check out a machine, and maybe this is something I can do in 2023. you have financing for them, right?
We do. Yeah, we've got some great financing partners, usually with little to no down payment in many cases. We can take care of startups all the way on up the chain to businesses been around for 20, 30 years or longer. So yeah, the financing side of it is real easy. You don't need a giant kit of equipment that's going to look old and stale and look like every other gym out there. So
Right.
really what we've seen a lot of our customers do, and I'll use my facility as an example, what I really wanted personally, like most entrepreneurs, I was just trying to scratch my own itch, and there wasn't anything out there for me. So I was a member at Anytime Fitness for 10 plus years. And what I kept getting frustrated with as a user was every time I'd walk in there, I love the fact that I could just swipe my card and I get access whenever I want. I don't need to interact with anybody. I'm not a group fitness guy. For me personally, I like having my earbuds in. I'm busy. I want to get in and get out. The problem with that is there's always the bro sitting on the chest press machine who's been there for 45 minutes. Now I can't use that machine today. So there's no way to schedule the workout. I'm just kind of wandering around figuring out, well, what can I do instead? And so really what I wanted was, how do I get the convenience of scheduling sessions to where I know when I go in there for these 20 minutes or 15 minutes or 30 minutes, whatever your programs are, that no one's going to be in my way. I know if I go in there at 1:20 in the afternoon every Tuesday, I'm going to be able to knock that out and nobody will be in the way. So what we did was we added a door system, similar to what you've seen in a lot of those places, but all of our equipment is bookable as if it was a class. So a lot of the gym management software is out there. You just, instead of calling it, high intensity, whatever that day at 1:20, you program in all the slots for the equipment. And so now I know ahead of time the app, and we've got a lot of developments coming, by the way, on the app side of things and how you'll access ARX. It's going to be a very exciting next year here. But for the business owner, what I love about it is once we get somebody through the 4 or 5 orientation sessions, they're on their own, which means I need very little staffing in there. They access the facility by themselves. They use everything by themselves. And our type of customer, they love that. They want to be able to come and go, have everything booked, not waste any time, get in and get out. What I love about that as a business owner, and what I've seen so many of our customers do, is say, this place is about the technology and it's about giving you the knowledge you need to use it properly. But then this is a journey of self-exploration for you to use all this tech. And what does that do for the business owner? It's a highly profitable business model. I mean, it just is, because you're removing the big rent overhead and you're removing the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 full-time employees from the roster. A lot of our customers just have 1 or 2 that run the whole thing.
Yeah, because you don't want a lot of employees in this day and age. That's a pain in the ass business when you have to have a lot of employees. I know a friend who he invests in car washes, and they're supposed to be very lucrative. But the problem he always tells me about is not the machines breaking down. It's the people showing up that have to drive the cars and drive them in. And so the less you have to depend on other people for your livelihood, the happier you will be. And the reality is you don't really need anybody to run a business if it's just you with an ARX machine in a studio. You don't need anybody. And you can look, the math was easy, right? If you had 100 clients paying you $300 a month to come, once a week, once every other week, or whatever it is, and they're getting results and they feel like they're spending great money with you, like that's $30,000 a month. Okay. Your rental, maybe your rent is $1,000, $1,500 a month for a little studio, maybe another $1,000 or so for your ARX machine, your electric bill, maybe a cable for some good music. I mean, you're done. This is low overhead business.
Yep, a little bit of insurance in there, very low overhead, and just to, I try not to be one of those people that's always talking about like the absolute best case scenario. My dad always used to talk about hope for the best, plan for the worst, right? So I'm always talking about this in phases. Where's my break even point? How many members do I need to where I'm not bleeding? And oftentimes our customers will have enough for their break even within the first 1 to 4 weeks if they've done some effective pre-marketing, get people on your list that are excited to try it. And as ARX gains popularity, so too do our customers benefit from people watching a show like this and saying, well, where can I use this in my location, in my city? So you really have a nice model there that is accessible for people. It's a low fixed overhead. You can run it yourself to get it going. But we find capacity is about 150 to 180 members. So now if you want to talk at the top end, that's more like 45 to 50,000 in top end revenue. That's one location with no more than maybe 5, 6, 7,000 in overhead. And that's if you don't want somebody to run it for you. So if you want to scale a business, you find a studio manager, like I've done for mine. He runs everything. I spend maybe an hour a week on the thing at most. And I love the business. But again, I built it for me. And it started as an ARX showroom. And I said, well, how about people are flying in from all over the world to check out ARX? The next question they always had for me was, what other equipment do you think I should add? So I started contacting everybody that I thought was really good. And then for years, we had a showroom that had all this stuff in there, and enough people locally found out what I had in there and effectively begged me to open it as a retail, establishment. And it's great. It's a nice passive, business for me. Obviously, I stay plenty busy here on the ARX side of things, but we have customers doing that every single month, opening new locations. And it's fun to watch them. And what's really fun is to watch their customer testimonials. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, a 73-year-old guy losing 5 pounds of fat, gaining 5 pounds of muscle, and tripling his testosterone in 12 weeks. That person will never leave you. Like, you just showed them a path that they've never seen before, and they are going to be members for a very long time.
I want to take a break, and when we come back, I want to talk about the kind of support people will get, like marketing and what other support you guys offer, okay? So We're talking right now with Jason DeBruler from ARX. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Most people have heard of phytoestrogens, but did you know there are beneficial phytoandrogens? The top source of these is pine pollen. It even contains trace amounts of testosterone and DHEA. If you're looking for a 100% natural testosterone booster, this is worth trying. Lots of men love it, and it even works for women. Lost Empire Herbs offers the highest quality wild harvested, non-irradiated pine pollen backed by a 365-day money-back guarantee. It works for you, or you don't have to pay for it with nothing to send back. Go to shrnetwork.biz/Lost Empire. Use code SHR. Get 15% off your order today. If you've listened to Superhuman Radio for any length of time, you know I'm a big proponent of peptides. One of my favorites is GHKCU, the blue copper peptide. It has the ability to repair and regenerate more youthful expression of skin cells, reversing the signs of aging. Restore Cell's Stem Cell Awakening Serum, along with their other products, contains potent formulations of blue copper peptides and only the highest quality organic ingredients. Superhuman Radio listeners can now save 25% site-wide. Go to shrnetwork.biz/blue and use the code SHR25. Remodel your skin today. Are you 35 or older? Every year after puberty, your growth hormone decreases, sometimes by 50% by the age of 35. And it only keeps going down from there. This affects everything from making it harder to recover from workouts, sleep, and a general loss of a sense of well-being. It also affects your ability to get and stay lean. BioPro Plus is the first of its kind, 100% non-synthetic alternative to prescription synthetic growth hormone treatments. All the benefits without any of the needles or side effects, and 100% safe. Previously only available through doctors, you can go to shrnetwork.biz/biopro, that's BIOPRO, and use code SHR30 for $30 off today. Being superhuman means being conscientious about the choices we make. White Oak Pastures is superhuman when it comes to raising livestock. They're committed to animal welfare, land regeneration, and rural revival. They responsibly manage the entire process from the pasture to your doorstep. High quality, pasture raised, great tasting meat from a farm you can trust. Full nose to tail selections. They even have options for your pet. Go to shrnetwork.biz/white oak and use the code superhuman to save 10% off your entire first order. Plant medicine has become all the rage for mental optimization. Now there's an ancient plant medicine rapidly growing in popularity that experts believe might just be the alcohol of the future. It's called True Kava. Kava is a natural natural food-grade elixir that has been used for over 3,000 years by South Pacific Islanders as safe, non-addictive alternative to drugs and alcohol. By naturally boosting the brain's main feel-good chemicals, dopamine, serotonin, and GABA, Kava provides you with both increased relaxation and mental clarity at the same time. True Kava is a new form of stabilized full-spectrum traditional Kava that is third-party lab tested for quality and safety. Go to shrnetwork.biz/true Kava, and that's TRUKAVA, all one word, and use code SHR for 25% off today. More than 240 million Americans take supplements daily in pill form, but poor nutrient absorption means the promised results are rarely achieved. Healthy Cell uses a clinically proven patent-pending gel delivery system that increases absorption by 165% over pill form. Go to shrnetwork.biz/healthycell. That's HEALTHYCELL today and use the code SHR to save 20% off your purchase of Healthy Cell supplement.
Move over, superheroes. This is the Superhuman Channel.
Hey, welcome back. So what kind of support do you give people? If let's say somebody's listening to the show, they think, I want to be in my own business. I want to make my own, hours and lifestyle. I think I'm going to look into this. They look at the numbers. They go, I can afford this. Do you help them with marketing stuff? Like you said, if you have a good pre-marketing strategy, you'll launch with more clients. What do you do?
We have what's called the customer toolkit. So what I like to call this is we give you all the ingredients. You got to go cook dinner. And so we're going to give them all of the marketing collateral that they could need, all the pictures and the images, high res, quality stuff that's going to look great on a website. We have vendor relationships if they want more turnkey type of stuff. So people that will set up your website, set up your gym management software, coordinate all of that stuff. A lot of our customers aren't, they've never done this before. We've got a lot of first-time, business owners that come open something with us because they're excited about the opportunity. But there's, some reservations about what all is going to go into this and how much you guys help me. So we also have our services, from day one, from the time somebody signs a purchase agreement, they get access to that customer toolkit. We have a robust ARX training academy that is all video based. So you'll know 99% of what there is to know about ARX before the machines ever show up. So once they've gone through all of that, training material, from there, some people have skills in the marketing area or in sales or whatever. We kind of just work with them and then link them up with partners if they're interested. And then, recently here, what's going to be really exciting is we have two customers that are going to be offering a franchise opportunity here in the coming months. So if somebody just says, I'm not really interested in being an owner operator, I don't want to work in the business, but I've got, some money that I want to deploy and I want to start a business. Well, now we've got relationships with our existing customers who we know their programs work. We know they're doing it the right way. We know they're getting results and we know they're making good profits. So then we can link them up with them. So it's kind of anywhere in between. It's mainly first, you got to decide, do you want a turnkey franchise type solution? Or do you want to go at it your own and save those franchise fees and not pay those? That's kind of a personal decision there. But yeah, we give a ton of support. We got a great support team. We get really high marks on our response time, hardware and software issues we address quickly. Our warranty covers, everything for that first year. We have additional, warranties to continue if you just want total peace of mind on anything that could go wrong there. Most of the issues that could go wrong, it's a pretty simple remote login from our team. Address something and you're back at it. So the equipment is extremely reliable. We have very few mechanical issues. And so, most of our customers love knowing that, again, this isn't something cheap built for the home. This is commercial quality equipment that is going to last a very long time.
So Horned Frog, who's watching on YouTube, says he's on the website, but he can't find the link or page which shows the names and locations. I don't think there is one. I think you have to use the contact link. You got to go to, there's a contact link there, right?
Yep, just use the contact for now. We're working on publishing that right now. We're kind of working with our customers who some want to be included in that directory, some don't. And as you can imagine, the ones who don't are the ones who don't want to field sales calls from people calling to say, "Was that ARX thing a good idea that you bought there?" They're trying to, build memberships and that kind of thing. So we're working on it. But yeah, if you just send a contact us form, somebody will get back to you real quick.
Yeah, just tell them where you live too. Put your address down so they know to find a location close to you, at least within driving distance. So that's probably the wisest thing to do. I want to mention one other thing before we pull the plug on this portion of the show, and that is, this is redundant because I kind of said this yesterday on yesterday's show, but it's worth saying in the context of this machine, the ARX machine. So we have no evidence that peptides are going to make you live longer. We have no evidence that rapamycin taken twice a month is going to make you live longer. We have no evidence that humans taking metformin for anti-aging purposes actually live longer. There are no human studies on a lot of this stuff. Other than caloric restriction, intermittent fasting seems to increase some markers of longevity like sirtuins, but there's no long-term studies on humans to say, oh my God, we had two groups of people, twins, and those who intermittent fasted lived 16% longer than. We have none of those studies, yet we put all of our hope and blind trust into biohacking because somebody says, well, pomegranate or this seed or this product or this machine that exposes you to different wavelengths of light is going to make you age better. It's all bullshit. There's only one thing that has been studied conclusively. In humans, not rodents, not C. elegans, not yeast, in humans that has been shown to increase lifespan and health span, and that is strength. The stronger you are, the harder you are to kill. It's very simple. The strong survive. There's so many adages from thousands of years equating strength to vitality and longevity. And there's plenty of studies, actual scientific studies from organizations like the California VA and others that we've talked about on this show for 16 years now. Hand grip strength equating to longevity, leg strength equating to longevity, muscle mass, women who have maintained muscle up to 60 and men up to 65, they don't develop diseases as readily as their counterparts who lose muscle each year after 40. The ARX machine is the first time machine ever, because I believe strongly, and I've said this for years now, that if you're stronger today than you were last week, you are younger. Strength is equated to youth, and strength in science has been shown to correlate with longevity and health span. And a machine like the ARX machine will make you younger because it will make you stronger. And this has been shown in science. And if the biohacking guru that you follow looks like he has a coat hanger in his shirt because you can't even tell where his shoulders are, or doesn't tell you about the rewards of resistance training, adding years to your life, they are not biohackers. They are bullshit artists. And if your biohacking guru isn't talking to you about strength training and resistance training, and more importantly, doing it faster, like with the ARX machine, don't take them seriously. They're snake oil salesmen. They just want you to buy this product today or that product tomorrow. And there's no evidence that it's going to make you live longer. But getting stronger is a body of science out there that why doctors don't talk about it and why other people don't talk about it, I don't know it. Maybe because nobody really wants to work hard. And that, like we talked about earlier, everybody wants a shortcut. This is the shortcut. It's not some pill. It's not metformin. ARX is the shortcut to living long and surviving better. That's it. That's the shortcut. That's it. Jason, thanks for being here today.
I appreciate you having me, Carl. This was great.
And I want to just put this up one more time so people know how to find out more about the ARX machine. Just bear with me 1 second because I'm not the best producer in the world. Go to shrnetwork.biz/ARX. Learn about this product because you're going to be hearing about it more and more as time goes on. More and more research is going to show that the ARX machine not only builds muscle faster, not only builds strength faster, but does a host of other things that will improve the quality of your health. Again, shrnetwork.biz/ARX. I'm sure we'll see the guys and gals from ARX again soon. I love this machine. I got to tell you, I have a completely different opinion of this machine now after seeing what my body is doing at 63 years old. Really.
I can't wait to check in with you in another 3 months. It's going to be fun.
I turned 64 in June, and I will do a shoot in June. I'm positive of it because I've never responded like this to exercise. Never this fast. 3.5 weeks. Never. All right, Jason, thanks for being here, brother.
All right, thanks for having me. Take it easy.
All right, so stay tuned. I got one other thing I want to talk about before we wrap up the show. We'll be right back with more. There we go. C60, also known as Buckminster fullerene, is the most powerful, most versatile antioxidant in the world. It's been shown in studies to double the lifespan of rodents. We all know the importance of taking antioxidants to slow aging, reduce inflammation, and improve mitochondrial function and energy production. But there are literally hundreds of antioxidants that would cost you thousands of dollars to take every day. I take one. I take C60 from C360 Health. Revive and Rejuvenate are two blends that harness the power of C60. Don't waste another minute. Go to shrnetwork.biz/revive and use the code SHR for 15% off and free shipping inside the United States today. I would easily say that I am the hugest proponent you will ever meet to doing anything that will improve the quality of my sleep. And that's because sleep is linked to just about every metabolic disorder we see in our population today. One of the easiest things you can do to improve the quality of your sleep is to get a pillow that can be shaped into the exact form factor that allows you to get your best night's sleep. And that is MyPillow. I've been sleeping with MyPillow for a few years now, and I can tell you that when I have to travel and stay in hotels, I don't get a good night's sleep because I don't have MyPillow with me. Right now, you can save up to 60% off of everything offered to improve the quality of your sleep at shrnetwork.biz/MyPillow when you use the code SHR. Or you can call toll-free 800-889-4938. And remember to use code SHR to save up to 60% off of everything at their website. Have you been struggling to achieve results in the gym? Trouble sleeping through the night? Overwhelmed with stress or anxiety? Look no further than Infiniwell supplements. They have designed products to address specific needs like muscle growth, hormone balance, sleep, and anxiety from the first use. Infiniwell helps you live well. Go to shrnetwork.biz/bewell, that's BEWELL, and use code SHR20 and start living well today.
Dogs should be powered by fat and protein, not carbs. That's why Visionary Pet makes low-carb, ketogenic dog food for dogs of all breeds and life stages. From kibble to freeze-dried and even low-carb treats, all Visionary Pet recipes are very low-carb, ketogenic, and made with 100% real meat protein. Shop now and use code SHR for 20% off your first order today. Your dog deserves the lifelong benefits of optimal nutrition. Make the switch to Visionary and see why smart dogs eat low carb.
You're listening to the Superhuman Channel. Don't hate us because we feel good.
Hey, welcome back. This will be fast. So, a friend of mine posted on Facebook yesterday that it was actually a meme from somebody else, but obviously if you post something, if you share a meme, it's your opinion as well. And so he posted what it costs to get a root canal in somewhere in Spain, I think Barcelona, and how much it costs to get a root canal here in the United States, and how much it costs to fly to Barcelona, and how much it would cost to stay in a hotel in Barcelona for whatever number of nights you'd have to stay. And he was saying how our healthcare system sucks because you could do it cheap. You could fly to Barcelona, stay in a hotel there, and have it done and still save money. I think he said that in the United States, it's either $2,000 or $3,000 for a root canal. And I see this argument as kind of a straw man argument. Here's why. So I posted this meme today. The healthcare system is for people who don't do what it takes to be healthy, and it's run by people who don't know what it takes to be healthy. If you're depending on healthcare to make up for all of your stupid decisions in life, you're consuming too much alcohol, partying way too much, and I don't care if you run and go to the gym once in a while, and you know what I'm talking about. If you run, if you go to the gym and you're moving the same weight that you did for 15, 20 years, and you're not making any progress in the gym, all you're doing it for is to mitigate your guilt for your bad lifestyle. Let's be honest. Let's call it what it is, okay? If you're complaining about how inadequate and expensive healthcare is today, you're voicing the wrong complaint. Unless you were born with some congenital defect, 90% of all illness today is acquired. That means you gave it to yourself. You ignored the signs for decades. You keep eating foods that don't, quote unquote, agree with you, drinking too much alcohol, watching the mirror as you get fatter and fatter. And even if you're not getting fat, folks, you know who I'm talking about. There's plenty of people out there who save their calories so that they can drink a whole bottle of wine every single night. Those are not the same calories as foods that build muscle. These people usually are shrinking. They're losing muscle. And keep in mind, frailty is a disorder today that kills people. There's lots of people who don't have enough muscle to walk up and down the stairs by the time they're 60. So I went on. I said, then when the symptoms arrive, you complain about the cost of medical care. You're like the person who watches their gas gauge get closer and closer to empty, but won't stop and get gas. Then you're surprised when you're stuck on the side of the road. You literally planned to run out of gas, just like you're planning to have to deal with a disease someday. And this is really the majority of the population today. The majority of the population knows that they're doing stuff that doesn't work for them. They don't feel good. They don't sleep good. They have to use honey. There's this whole new thing where people are taking honey before bed. If you have to take honey to sleep all night, you are already metabolically deranged. You are already insulin resistant. And that's why you need sugar before you go to bed to get an extra 3 or 4 hours of sleep. Fix your insulin resistance. You'll sleep good. Taking honey before bed, according to Dr. Dale Bredesen, will just speed along your development of Alzheimer's disease. Yet there's people on Instagram recommending that if you want a good night's sleep, take honey before bed. This is another reason why I want to get out of this space, because the bullshit is daunting now. The idiocy is daunting now. If you're worried that healthcare is too expensive, then maybe take care of yourself. Maybe stop doing the stupid shit you're doing, like being a quasi-alcoholic. Maybe stop. If you're marrying a younger girl because you hope that she'll be able to take care of you when you're older, you already know what you're doing. You are literally marching into illness. Stop. And don't complain about the healthcare system, because the reason the healthcare system is so fucking expensive is because of idiots like you who've been on blood pressure meds for decades and cholesterol meds and antihypertensive meds and blood sugar management meds. You're why healthcare is so expensive, because it's people like you who use it to make up for stupid decisions. And the rest of us who take care of ourselves and train and make sure we sleep well and make sure we're metabolically flexible and we can fast for 24 hours without collapsing and falling apart. And, you know, all the things that we do that stuff. And I pay a healthcare and premium, but I don't ever use healthcare. In fact, I most of the time have to pay for my blood work out of my own pocket. You know, if you're depending on healthcare to fix all the stupid things you've done throughout your life, you're going to get what you deserve. You're going to spend the rest of your life going from specialist to specialist. And you'll probably brag about it, about how many days you have to go to this specialist and that specialist. The people, they wear that stuff on their sleeves like it's a medal. It's just evidence of your stupidity. That's all it is. Don't brag about it. All right, that's it. That's all I got for today. And please share the show. Who knows whose life you may change, or with that last rant, who you may insult. All right. We'll see you later. Thanks for watching and listening.